Hello and welcome to another SHUMPCAST, and we're very, very lucky to have Tony Shump Ralph Nardella here today. Tony Shump Nardella, what happened there last week?
Well, as you know,
You got arrested.
As we're doing our podcast, I don't know why they took me away. They just came in and took me away.
No, because the Werribee Whisperer left your bloody number in the bloody phone box. And they missed out on him, so they traced the number back to here.
Yeah.
So what happened?
They stormed in, they took me away. Why don't they take you away? They just took me away.
Because it was your name and number on the phone.
I don't know. Anyway, they took me away.
Anyway,
Me
and Ernie were really upset about it. We wanted to get
yeah, I'm sure you were.
No, we really were.
Yeah. I heard the podcast.
Ernie was going to call everybody to try and get you out.
The nice policeman let me listen to the podcast while I was, overnight there.
Oh, yeah, we were just mucking around.
Sure. Didn't sound like I was mucking around.
Come on,
Didn't sound like it. They took me away, and I suppose you want to know what happened. They took me away, and I said, I don't know.
Just get to the point.
I've got no idea about this Werribee whistler, you know.
Whisperer.
Oh, Whisperer, sorry, the guy. And next minute they're chucking water on me, you know what I mean, to wake me up.
They water bombed you. They water bombed you.
Like 2 a.m, they still questioning me. It was like 6 hours later, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, guess
what?
I'm
over it.
Anyway, they got the phone books out, the phone books.
Oh my God,
they start hitting with the phone books. Bang, bang, boom, boom,
they haven't left
ping.
Anyway.
Right, that was the end of that.
We're happy to have you here.
I appreciate that. So,
Ernie was really
I'm on bail and pending further investigation. So hopefully, I don't know.
Okay, so what are we doing today?
I don't know. You said you got some
yes,
some guest
we've
on
got
the show.
someone on the line. We've got a young female, and we're talking about the elephant in the room. You know how during this bloody pandemic stuff, there's lots of domestic violence happening in the home.
Is that due to the pandemic? You reckon an increase?
Well, the perpetrators are at home now with the poor, woman or children and that, and they're in each other's faces all day,
Well, I did a podcast for half an hour with you, and I'm already bloody over.
I know, you want to kill me.
Imagine being stuck in a room for 24/7.
I know, but we've got to get serious here for a bit because we've got to do something about it. It's just crazy. It's just going out of control.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys are out there, I'm talking to all the men out there, because the women are the ones that cop all the shit, the women and the children. So we really have to come up with something.
Yeah, so this guest you got on the phone today...
she's a young woman who goes to uni and whatever, and she's got a bit of a story to tell us, about double standards. How, if you've got a son, you tell him to go out and root as many girls as you can, and pat them on the back. Oh, good on you, buddy. But if you've got a daughter, you want her to keep away from all the
Well, that's what it is now. The young kids...
Yeah, I know, but why would you want to keep them away? Raise your men, raise your boys to respect women.
Well, they're all competitive with each other, They get the phone out, they film this, film that, and next minute they got the whole gang there, which is... anyway. And what's her name?
Mia Sorbara.
Oh.
Yes.
Any relation?
Well, yeah, she's my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, my God, your daughter.
I know. Well, one of my youngest
Well, that's a good guess to have, it, your daughter on the phone.
Well, there you go. So, we'll just call her up. On the line, we have Mia Sorbara. Hey,
how are you, Mia?
Hey.
How you going? Tony Shump here, Tony Shump Nardella.
And Domenico Antonio Sorbara. It's me. Anyway, Mia, we were just talking about the double standards, with the women and the men and stuff like that. And you had a couple of stories, so go for it.
Yeah, I did. I think it's good to talk about and highlight the fact that it happens in everyday life. Education.
Well,
about what girls wear and all this stuff. They're just over sexualized, I think.
What do you mean?
So, for example, social media is a massive platform, and girls post photos in with a bra on or like a bikini at the beach, or it's always they're just asking for it, but really it's just maybe they're just having a good time at the beach and they shouldn't be over-sexualized.
Yeah, I understand that. But what do you mean, once you post a photo on what are you trying to say? Tell me about an instance.
Well, I feel like women and men should have the right to post whatever they want if they feel comfortable, in their body. They can post whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, but you know you're going to get comments, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
But we're just trying to educate people. We're just trying to tell the men in this world that if you do post a photo up and you're wearing a bikini, like you have even friends, don't you, that say to you, oh, did your boyfriend let you post that? You know, what did he say about that sort of shit? That's what I want to know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I recently posted a photo in a bikini or whatever, just because, you know, I felt good in that photo, so I just wanted to post it. And I got a lot of comments on, like, girls my age, like friends, messaging me saying, oh, did your boyfriend let you post that? And I was just shocked because I was like, well, didn't even ask him, because I don't feel like that's necessary to ask someone to post a photo.
That's
you can do whatever you want, no matter what.
Well, that's right. It's your body. You can do what you want. And, like, if your boyfriend is, jealous or...
Yeah.
But
I was at... another story, I was at work, like it happens all the time. I was at work and, I don't know, a conversation came up about assault and like the Me Too movement, which I think is really important. And a guy asked me at work, he was like, do you go out without your boyfriend? I said, yeah. And he's like, oh, so you're just asking to be assaulted? And I was just like, what?
I know. And that's how a lot of blokes think. You know, if you don't go out with your boyfriend or if you dress provocatively, then you're asking for it.
Yeah.
So we just want to go. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was my age. Like I was like, what the hell? It's just like it still happens today. I thought we'll pass this, but it still happens in everyday life.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's
well, social media's changed everything, you know, and that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, but it's not just about social media. Well, it's about let's talk about all this stuff, especially now in the pandemic. Like. The poor women that are at home with abusive blokes who get drunk and, think it's okay to belittle, or hit their spouses or children or, verbal abuse is even bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
in a way, I think that's worse.
So what are you saying? What are you trying to tell the people out there?
Oh, I think people should become more educated about, the Me Too movement and just the way people talk about women, and like it starts at a young age, like people are surrounded by that, like just to, be educated, like in schools should be educated about consent. Like I don't remember being talked about that, like I never got told about consent in school. Like it just needs to be ingrained in people at a young age. Yeah,
and a lot of blokes, they watch a lot of porn, so they think that the real life is just like the porn, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
Yes,
like a lot of, and you can access it everywhere, like Instagram, Facebook, wherever you go.
Yeah, I know.
And especially once they get a few drinks in them, they think that they're like God's gift to women. Like, oh, that girl over there, she's wearing a skimpy top, so she probably wants to fuck me, and I'll just go over there and whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have said it like that.
Whatever they want.
Yeah, but it's just about education, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. People, everyone, like women and men, need to be educated about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying from a young age, like we should teach our boys. Yeah. We should teach our boys to respect women, and we should teach our women not to take anything less.
Exactly.
So with that, Mia, with the education, they don't do that in schools now. I mean, I know when I was at school, they had sexual education courses,
Yeah, but that was that was nothing.
But what do they do now? I don't know what they do now. They must do something.
Yeah, what do they do at the primary schools and the secondary schools?
Secondary school, they have introduced some sort of. It's all changed now. It's all
Yeah. I mean, like I didn't get taught about that in primary school.
What about
I didn't get taught about consent, about that. I just got taught about, sexual health, but not consent or anything.
What about high school? When you're in high school, I mean, they what they teach there? What sort of course? Is it like? They talk about that sort of stuff?
They talk about sexism. What do they talk about in high school and uni?
The education, sex education. What do they talk about there?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is now, but when I was in high school, we kind of just had a discussion about sex, and that was it. Like there was nothing. All my friends would get told off if they were wearing a singlet or, a low top, or because, it's not appropriate, boys can't control themselves. And it's just like, well, how's that our problem?
Yeah, I know.
I just thought it was crazy, because people can wear whatever they want. Even with, sexual assault and rape allegations, they use what they were wearing as a, as an argument. Well, if she was wearing that, then, the men couldn't control themselves. They use that in argument, like today.
So how long ago were you in high school? How long? About 2, 3, 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
4 years ago, and you're saying that they didn't have any, didn't talk about all this social media porn stuff, and it was all
how you should be treated, equal rights, all that sort of stuff.
What did they actually teach you there?
No.
Oh no, in that department.
I mean, I guess it wasn't really talked about. It wasn't really talked about women being assaulted and harassed. You kind of just were like, oh, it wasn't that bad, or I didn't mean it, or just stuff like that, and, ingrained in your mind.
Yeah, that's just not okay. That's just not okay.
No, it's not.
So we need to start an education thing for young men, young girls, and and talk about it. Like, instead of sweeping it under the carpet, like that Me Too
100%.
thing. There's a podcast coming out called Everybody Knows, and I think it's about the Australian industry with sexual abuse and stuff like that.
In the music industry?
In the music industry, yeah, that's coming out in a couple of weeks' time. But at least, we've got something like that. We've started the conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
We've got to get...
Started the conversation. Even with comments, like little comments people make, like, you've got to pull your mates, you've got to pull people up. It starts with that.
Yeah, it starts with us, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So what can you do about it, Mia?
I mean, each their own, really, but just, I know, people just need to get educated, I guess. Look stuff up. Like the Me Too movement is such an important thing, and I think, people should all become aware of that. And, like, in day-to-day life, if your mate says something, pull them up.
Yeah.
I think as a society, we'll get way better at that.
Yeah, I know. We're in 2021 and we're still in the dark ages.
And we're still talking about it. Like, it's still happening every day.
What about equal opportunity and stuff at work?
Yeah, equality. 100%. Like, just equality. Like, we're not asking for much. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just want to be equal, yeah?
Equal rights, yeah. 100%.
And that's not too much to ask for.
No, I don't think so.
What about at uni? Like, do they do any talks, or do they bring up stuff like that at uni?
I mean, not really, but because we're all a lot older, we kind of just we talk about it, in our spare time. We're all like very aware of it, which is good. So
what are the guys like over there at uni? Are they still sort of in the dark ages times, or are they more respectful towards women? What?
I think I surround myself with people that actually are aware of it. People that don't really, want to know about it or make the effort to learn about it, I just stay away from those people because, they're not going to make an effort to learn. There's no point trying to change their mind, I reckon.
But they're the ones that need the education the most. So,
yeah, exactly.
So how would you get to those sorts of people?
I feel like just openly talking about it, I think, like, more people should just talk about it, and if they don't, I don't know. I feel like they just need to get educated, but there's some certain people, they just say, oh, it's how I grew up, or it's what I believe in, so they don't want to change their, outlook on things.
Yeah.
So we just start the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about vaccination? We'll just talk about that a bit before you go. How do you feel about getting vaccinated, at your age?
I'm pro-choice, so, if people want to do it, people don't want to do it, it's completely up to them. I feel like our society and our world is, we're all going to have to get it, but, everyone has their own outlook on it, I think. So each their own, I reckon.
Well, it's going to be, if you don't get the jab, you won't get into a nightclub. That's basically what they're saying, It's,
you can't travel.
At your age, you want to go into a nightclub or a bar or something,
Travel.
The music industry will...
otherwise, you might be jabbed, but your boyfriend might not be jabbed, and you have to wait in the car, in the car park until you finish, So, that's very sad, but that's how it is. Some people will just... aren't going to get it, I suppose, but anyway.
So are the young people all getting them, or the jab?
I think most young people, or maybe not most, but I think because from last week, a lot of people my age could legally get it, so everyone's getting it now, I guess.
So how many friends of yours have ever had the jab? Would you know that?
A couple of mine have been talking about it, and they've booked in appointments.
They've booked in, but they haven't had the jab.
Well,
not yet.
No, not yet.
But
But they've all
They've all
booked
booked in their appointment.
Booked in, yeah.
Fair
And what about
enough.
yourself, Mia? Have you booked in an appointment?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
Well, you've got gigs and that coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, had to cancel heaps of gigs.
2023.
Well, soon. What, have you cancelled some of your gigs too, yeah?
Yeah, heaps over lockdown, which is pretty sad.
So what are you going to do if they say to you, you know, no jab, no gig?
No, I'm going to have to get the jab then.
Right, that's it,
That's
yes, I think.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mia.
No worries.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, on the line now, we've got Marlon Bianchi, who is a father to a son and a daughter. So I think we'll just ask him a couple of questions about how he raises the kids between a male and a female. Are you there, Marlon Bianchi? How are you? Welcome to the SHUMPCAST.
G'day Dom. G'day Ralph.
How are you, mate? Tony Shump, no, how are you?
Marlon, we're just discussing, you know, the elephant in the room, how everybody knows about the sexism and stuff like that, and how there's double standards for male and females. You've got a young man and a young lady, haven't you, as kids?
Yes, my kids are like 19 and 21 years old. My daughter's 19.
So
And yes, so look, thankfully, you know, we've had enough good close relationships with them to help for them to understand and for us to understand how they are. So, you know, we take close care of them.
So did you bring them both up the same way? That's what I'm sort of asking. Like, would you bring up your daughter the same way you brought up your son?
Well, look, as much as possible, yes, we, provide them for the same and care about them for the same and have as much time as each requires. You know, sometimes things can change, you know, with things that happen through life, but...
Now, what I'm trying to get at is about like the male and female, how there's double standards. You know, like if your son comes home, you say after a nightclub, you say, "Oh, did you get a root?" and blah blah blah. And if your daughter sort of goes out, like, you know, what would you say? Put a coat on. Don't wear any like skimpy clothes. That's the sort of stuff I'm after.
Well, yeah. Look, when it comes to things like that, it's been in the last few years that's been going on. You know, the kids are old enough to go out by themselves before COVID, of course. And look, throughout the time of them growing up, I trust their judgment, and I do, you know, aim to feel that, well, they're both entitled to go out and enjoy themselves and have fun, as long as they are, you know, not making too many wrong decisions. And so if the kids are brought up in an equal way, where they're getting, you know, enough understanding from mum and dad, if possible, and just someone there to talk to about all these issues of going out to have fun with other people, then yes, it should be very equal. And you know, a young girl's just as entitled to go out and have fun as a young boy. So, and they'd also take care and be responsible. And they're the things that'll help them make the right choices, you know. So that's my view, at least. Anyway.
So you believe in the equal opportunities and all that sort of stuff?
Yes, for sure. You know, there's a lot that you know, through history, women have had less representation in all areas, all industries, and less of a voice everywhere. So there's going to be a great deal that they can provide that's never been tapped before. I think. You know, I think more and more women should have more and more opportunities. And it's definitely a case where, you know, it's such a slow movement with these things. You know, it's no secret that the government is slow to move with these types of things, particularly the government we have at the moment. There's not well represented with
women.
You know, there's women about there, but I think they're being stifled by the top end of their leadership, you know.
Yeah.
They don't often get the chance to really express and represent women's views more strongly. That's all. So that'll come in time.
Well, we want it ASAP, don't we? We want the women in the top jobs because, I mean, I don't want to sound sexist, but they know how to run a country better than a lot of the blokes. I mean, the blokes have had a lot of goes. Now it's time for the women to step up and have a crack. What do you reckon?
Oh, yes.
I agree 100% with that. Men have, in the past, pretty much men have run the show from start to where we are now in most areas of the world. So I think they've fucked it up in just about everywhere. So if they could give women a go, well, they might not be able to. I'm sure they wouldn't do it any worse.
No.
It would be. I think it'd be a good idea to have women leading a few more areas myself.
How do we start the movement? How do we start like getting all these women in those highfalutin jobs that are male dominated? That are jobs for the boys, And like you said, when we do have women in politics, they're stifled by the male chauvinists in there, yeah?
Yes, look, it's just the way it's been forevermore. Domestication-wise, you could see how there's some cultures still very strong amongst some of the more maybe private schools where they have all boys schools and things like that. Some of those older cultures are still carrying on, but in the most part, I think it's still just maybe just a bit more time. Hopefully, not much more time, and things can happen now where it's men actually standing up and being accountable and pointing out other men, and also and leading the way to promote women themselves, not just wait for women to have to promote themselves, but have a good active support from all the men around them. And it's time for men to be a lot stronger and not want to come first. They should be a bit more forthcoming and let the women, have a good chance and support them as much as they can. That's all.
Well, like you said, like men, we've had a big crack at it, haven't we?
Oh,
and
definitely, yes.
We've stuffed up the world, basically. So why not give them a go? I mean, like you said, they can't do any worse, yeah?
No, I agree totally with that. There's just too many poor examples of the leadership all around the world that is atrocious in a lot of cases, and there's a lot of men responsible for it. So, well, if there's opportunities to have a women's input and let them have the reins and support them, then I think why not? Yeah, it's certainly time to have a try at something else, because it seems to be getting worse in some areas, to be honest.
Well, you wouldn't want to be a woman living in Afghanistan at the moment, would you?
Oh, dear.
Hey? Well, how would you be if you had your daughter over there?
Yeah.
No, that's right. They're literally, living as slaves or in fear of...
well, they can't even go to school. They can't go to school or work or they're subservient. They still get stoned. I don't mean stoned like marijuana. I mean stoned, if they even suspect that they're doing adultery sort of stuff, they'll stone them to death. All that sort of stuff. But that's still going on now.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit of a lack of equality with some of these, areas in the world. So it's, we think we go quite well here. I'm sure there's a lot of areas here which are not doing so well themselves.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's just atrocious in too many areas. So, well, why not have a change? I say.
Marlon, Bianchi, and just keep the conversation going, mate. Like, if you hear anything around, like I was asking a few blokes this the other day, but if you hear your neighbours or you see a young girl in the street crying, or what I mean, would you step in? Would you say something? Would you I mean, you don't have to go and belt the bloke, but maybe when they're not drunk, or maybe when they've calmed down, would you say something to them, Marlon?
Oh, look, it's always worth trying to make an approach to someone, and it would always be a difficult thing to do. And I think the first approach, you would always hopefully try and do it in a respectful way to a party, but just making an appearance, I think, and showing that you're an open ear, as well as maybe there is someone who is standing by as a witness as well, and won't just stand by and not say or do anything. So I think making an appearance is a good idea.
Or even something as simple, Marlon, as like putting a chair on your front porch just to show maybe women and children that it's a safe house, do you know what I mean? In case there's some domestic violence or something going, or turning on a light, you know, we should have. I mean, the police are inundated with calls and social workers, there's not enough of them, and youth workers. So maybe if the community, you know, like the community...
I like that idea.
Yeah,
good
leave
idea.
a chair out the front, maybe, you know, and women know it's a safe place, you know.
Well, you got a couch in front of your place, so
yeah, I know.
they could have a lay down, you know, in the afternoon.
Anyway, thanks.
But you might do this afternoon. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's not bad. Anyway, thank you very much, Marlon, for your time.
Yep.
And,
You're welcome, guys. Nice to speak to you anyway. Anytime.
And keep painting, mate. You're a great painter. So if anybody wants a good painter,
Thanks for that, mate.
someone to paint their portrait, Marlon's
yes. When are you going to paint me, Marlon?
No, he's not going to paint you.
Why
but
not?
just quietly, all the people from the Shumpcast.
Yep.
Marlon painted that thing that's behind us.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
So big hand for Marlon. You're a legend, buddy. All right.
Yeah, on our videos and photos on the Shumpcast and podcast there.
Great
That's
painter.
that great photo of you,
Portraits,
Don.
does portraits.
Which I will want to get
you're
replaced
gonna get
by
one.
myself.
He's doing one for Mia, and then he's going to do one for Ova. So you're gone.
Yeah, I'll send you a photo, Marlon, of me, but I don't want the nose too big. I want it to be a bit
he wants
smaller.
you to draw him.
Can you make it about an inch shorter?
Small nose.
An inch short, is that okay?
I'll stick to black and white with you, I think, Tony.
Oh, yes.
All
A lot
right,
of people think, say that I'm better in black and white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey.
Just don't look on the side.
Oh,
the silhouette, you know. Yeah. Anyway, Tony Shump-Nardella.
Tony Ralph Shump.
All right, Tony Ralph Shump-Nardella.
Yep.
Do you know what a Poseidon kiss is?
What?
A Poseidon kiss.
Poseidon.
Poseidon. You know what the Poseidon
Poseidon?
Adventure?
Oh.
Poseidon kiss. Do you know what a Poseidon kiss
the
is?
Poseidon Adventure, like the movie.
No. Do you know or not?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Do you want me to explain to you what a Poseidon kiss is?
Please.
For all you viewers out there, a Poseidon kiss is, you know when you go to the toilet and you do a plop,
Yep.
and it bounces and a little bit of water pops up and hits you
Oh,
on the
yes.
ass?
Oh,
That's
yes.
a Poseidon kiss. Did you know that?
I didn't know. I always
I
wondered what that was.
know, it's cool.
No one ever talks about that.
I know.
Only
Have you
talk
ever had
about
it?
that.
Like when you drop one?
well,
and
one day
it pops
actually,
up,
one day
kisses
I-
you right on the...
Yes, because I had a lot of prunes one day. And
Anyway, that's a Poseidon
Anyway,
kiss.
I got out of the way and it hit the ceiling.
Oh, that's not, mate. You're just making that
And
up.
my wife goes,
Anyway.
"What the hell is that up there?" And I said, Anyway,
how can it hit the ceiling if you're sitting on it? Stop being silly. Anyway,
okay.
just sign off, will you?
Oh, that's a great episode.
That was pretty good. It was
a pretty serious episode,
It was
not
a
many
serious
jokes.
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you got to
anyway-
be serious sometimes because you can't just let this shit happen all the time.
No, I'm
Domestic violence is something
I'm very
that we
glad
should
you
all
brought it
know
up.
about
Tom.
it.
I'm very glad you brought it up.
Well,
and I mean, it's an interesting topic, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it again. So in future episodes, we'll have some more people on to talk
bring
about
your
this sort
boys,
of stuff.
If you got boys, bring them up to respect women and to value them. And if you got girls, then just bring them up to expect nothing less. You need to respect everybody. It's not just a male-female thing, but at the moment it is because the poor women are going through bad shit through this pandemic. You know, like they're stuck at home, they can't get away. So maybe we do something like that, like throw a chair out the front, you know, if someone needs somewhere to go. Or, I don't know, we've got to come up with something.
Well,
Anyway.
that's something to think about. But anyway, don't forget, Shumpcast, the only show you don't have to be famous to be on. Is
That's
that correct?
right,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'm Tony Shumpcast,
And I'm Dominica Sorbara.
and we'll see you next time on
Shumpcast.